Now, BlueLife has recently merged with IOREC and is now known as BLL. The company listed on the Mauritius Stock Exchange today. For more now, we are joined by Sunil Benimadhu, CEO of the Stock Exchange of Mauritius, and Arnaud, Lagesse, Chairman of BlueLife. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making the time to join us. Sunil, perhaps let's start off with you. And what does the listing of BLL mean for the Mauritius Stock Exchange?
Well, I think that the listing of BlueLife constitutes a very positive happening for the Stock Exchange of Mauritius. BlueLife was first listed on the development enterprise market and has already written a new chapter in the history of SEM by being the first company to migrate within a 6-month period to the main board of the Stock Exchange of Mauritius. I think basically it brings a new product to the existing product suite for Mauritian investors, but also for international investors. And more importantly, I think BlueLife gives an exposure to our investors to the high-end property market in Mauritius. The company was listed on the 8th of January, and on its very first day of listing, it went up by some 20%. It's a company which has today a market cap of some 4.3 billion rupees, and is ranked as the 17th largest company among the 90+ companies that are listed on both markets operated by the SEM. So all in all, we are very happy to have BlueLife, and I think it's going to be an important company that will be tracked by both local and international investors.
Arnaud, it's to be sure here, how does this listing fit into the larger company strategy?
Sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you repeat your question?
Not
please?
a problem, Arnaud. How does this listing fit in with the larger company strategy in where you would like to see or where you would like to take forth the company?
Okay, this, if I may, I started IOREC actually 5 years ago, and it was a joint venture between my group company GML and the British private equity Actis. And then after 5 years, we decided to go on the market. Now that BlueLife is quoted on the Stock Exchange of Mauritius, we think it will enable us to drive more value to the shareholders and create additional wealth for the 2,000 plus shareholders that we have today. And obviously BlueLife is amongst a portfolio of GML listed companies, and we are putting a lot of attention to the strategy of development of BlueLife for the near future with the launching of new products both in Mauritius and in the region.
Sunil, let's take a look at the performance of the Stock Exchange in the previous year. What are some of your biggest achievements? And let's also throw forward what can we expect on the Stock Exchange this year?
Well, I think 2013 was a very active year for the Mauritius Stock Exchange and saw the implementation of a number of path-breaking initiatives during that year. But to summarize some of the key achievements, I would put high on the list the full-fledged implementation of a multi-currency listing, capital raising and trading facility, which today makes of the Mauritius Stock Exchange the only exchange in Africa that would allow an issuer to raise capital in US dollar, in euro, in British pound, in South African rand, and of course in Mauritian rupee, list the product in any of these 5 underlying international currencies and trade and settle the underlying transactions in any of these currencies. So basically what this does to us is that it puts us in a competitive position with regard to potential African issuers that are willing to tap into the international investment community to raise capital in hard currencies like the US dollar, the euro, the GBP. We've also come up, secondly, with a number of reforms with regard to our regulatory environment and our existing rules, so as to make our market more competitive, internationalize our platform, and try to draw attention and listings outside of the frontiers of Mauritius. So I think this has been an important achievement. And thirdly, I would say that recently we undertook some major changes to our transaction fees by bringing down our transaction fees on turnaround trades on equity products by reducing them by some 88% and on corporate bonds by 83%, with the objective of encouraging more trading, more liquidity on our market, and maybe encourage the development of what we call day traders, so that this can eventually position our market more effectively. For 2014, I think that we are aiming at trying to promote more our international platform so as to attract more global funds and regional companies to come and list on our platform. We're also trying to think how we can diversify our product suite. So we're thinking of creating the enabling environment to list structured products. We think that we could also consider short selling on some of the liquid stocks, and eventually, if that works, this would create the environment for us to create what we call single stock futures on the liquid stock. So we have a lot of things that we are really looking at during the year.
Arnaud, what has been your analysis of the property market in Mauritius?
I would say that the analysis, at least for us, has been quite good. I'm not sure it has been that buoyant for the whole market, but when I take the perspective of BlueLife, we've sold more than 106 local units. We've reached the mark of 120 integrated resort schemes unit for foreigners. And we've been quite active both locally and internationally. I think Mauritius is very well positioned to attract a lot of foreigners here, and that both government and private sector is are quite keen actually to put more products on the market. Now, what is the exact amount that has been invested on a foreign direct investment perspective? I'm not sure yet, but as far as BlueLife is concerned, it's a real success story so far, and I hope that 2014 will bring more investors down here in Mauritius to push a bit more the property business here.
Arnaud and Sunil, thank you so much for making the time to join us today. Of course, that was Sunil Benimadhu, CEO of the Stock Exchange of Mauritius, and Arnaud Lagesse, Chairman of BlueLife.